Welcome students of Thakur Vidya Mandir High School and Junior College. Human Health and Disease Chapter 10 Part 5. So today let us study about some more types of common disease. Today we will be studying about two more important disease which is affecting the population on a very severe basis. So number one, that is filariasis. It is also known as elephantiasis, and number two, typhoid. So let us study about this two. Let us start with the first one, that is filariasis, which is also known as elephantiasis. It is one kind of disease in which your arms or your legs, it just swells up like an elephant leg. Hence it is also known as elephant leg. In our common language we call it hathi pug. So that is elephantiasis. Filariasis, also known as elephantiasis. Filariasis is caused by thread-like worms, nematodes. So these nematodes parasites are transported from person to person via mosquito bite. So this disease is also caused by mosquito bite. Filariasis can be divided into three subtypes. Number 1, lymphatic filariasis. Number 2, subcutaneous filariasis. And number 3, serous, that is abdominal cavity filariasis, that depends on the region where it is actually affected. So filariasis is caused by worms and it is transported by mosquito. So here the vector is mosquito. Lymphatic filariasis, which is the one type of filariasis which is commonly called as elephantiasis. It is caused by the worms. They are Bucheria bancrofti, Brugia malai, Brugia timori. So this lymphatic filariasis, it mainly affects the leg region, and your legs, it swells up and it appears like an elephant leg. Signs and symptoms of filariasis. Number 1, edema with thickening of skin and underlying tissues. Bucheria bancrofti affects the leg, arms, breast, scrotum, etc. Hence, it appears swollen. In lymphatic filariasis, worms infect lymphatic system and causes enlargement of lymph vessels and nodes. So this is elephantiasis, that is limbs are swollen like legs of elephant in lymphatic filariasis. Lymphedema, that is accumulation of lymph fluid in tissue causing swelling. And hydrocele, that is testes are enlarged due to accumulation of lymphatic fluid in testes. So these are all the signs and symptoms of filariasis. The what is observed is edema in different parts of your body, especially where the areas are infected and the fluid is just filled in that part and it just swells up. Mode of transmission of filariasis. Bucheria bancrofti is transmitted to human body by female Culex mosquito. Please remember the name female Culex mosquito. So the larvae escape mosquito and arrive on the human skin. They penetrate the skin, undergo two moltings before they become adults, and they settle in the lymphatic system. Incubation period, they can be as long as 8 to 16 months. So here mosquito is playing the role of the vector. The parasite is Bucheria bancrofti and it is transmitted to human body by the mosquito. So what it does, it just first rests on the human skin, the surface. From there it penetrates, it undergo two moltings before they become adults and they settle in the lymphatic system. and the incubation period can be as long as 8 to 16 months. Once your body is affected by Wucheria bancrofti, it leaves severe results, severe swelling in the affected part of your body. Diagnosis and treatment for filariasis. Use of diethyl carbamazine citrate twice a day for 3 weeks and thereafter for 5 days every 6 months is effective against filarial worms. Prevention and control. Here the vector is mosquito. So obviously avoid mosquito bite by using mosquito nets and insect repellents. These mosquitoes, they are the vectors which are causing n number of hazardous disease. So we should always use mosquito repellents and mosquito nets. Eradication of mosquitoes is essential for control of filariasis. Let's start with the second disease of today's lecture, that is typhoid. Typhoid. Typhoid is an acute infection of intestine. It is caused by Salmonella typhi. Always remember the causative agent of each and every disease which we are studying. So typhoid, the causative agent is Salmonella typhi. It is a gram-negative bacteria found in intestinal lumen of infected person. Now, gram negative, it is a staining process which you will be studying in your higher classes. Like on the method of staining, the bacteria, they are divided into gram positive and gram negative. So it is a gram negative bacteria which is found in intestinal lumen of infected person. Pathogenicity is due to O antigen, a lipopolysaccharide, that is LPS, present on surface coat. So it contains O antigen on surface and flagella contains H antigen. So this Salmonella typhi, it contains O antigen on its surface and H antigen on the flagella. Flagella, that is the part through which this bacteria they move. Signs and symptoms of typhoid: prolonged and high fever, general nausea, fatigue, headache, abdominal pain, constipation or diarrhea, as it is an intestinal disease. So obviously you will be suffering from abdominal pain, constipation, or in some cases diarrhea. Rose colored or rash on skin, white coat on tongue, cough, anorexia. Anorexia is loss of appetite, that is loss of hunger. You won't like to eat anything, you won't feel hungry. If not treated, breathlessness, irregular heartbeats, hemorrhage. So these are the signs and symptoms. Mainly high fever, abdominal pain, constipation, diarrhea. In severe cases, rashes on the skin, white coat on the tongue. Loss of appetite is observed in general cases. Fever is observed in all cases. It is very high and prolonged. And treatment is very necessary. If it is not treated, it will lead to breathlessness and irregular heartbeats. Mode of transmission of typhoid. It is a food and waterborne disease. Insects like housefly and cockroaches feeding on fecal matter may transfer the bacteria to food material. Poor hygiene habits and poor sanitization conditions are responsible for the spread of typhoid. So obviously it is a food and waterborne disease. If you are coming in contact with contaminated food and contaminated water, there are high chances of typhoid being transmitted. Insects like housefly and cockroaches, they feed on the fecal matter and they transfer the bacteria to food material. As many of our homes will observe this cockroaches inside the house, so they actually feed on this fecal matter and they infect each and every thing coming in contact with them. poor hygiene habits and poor sanitization. So that is the main mode of transmission. So we have to just develop hygienic habits, proper sanitation conditions, and cleanly everything should be maintained clean and hygienic. Diagnosis and treatment of typhoid. Vidal test is used for diagnosis of typhoid. So diagnosis is done by Vidal test. Treatment is done, which involves surgical removal of gallbladder only in severe cases, not in all cases. The severe ones, it involves surgical methods. Other cases, patients they are treated by antibiotics like chloromycetin. And for prevention of typhoid, WHO recommends two vaccines as oral, like which are given orally, that is TY21A vaccine, and injectable which are given via injections, that is typhoid polysaccharide vaccine, sold as Timfin 6 and Timferix. So to protect and prevent yourself from typhoid, vaccination is very important. So students, I hope you all must have understood the causative agent, mode of transmission, signs and symptoms, diagnosis and treatment, prevention and control of typhoid as well as filariasis. I want you all to do the assignment and go through these two topics in your textbook as well. Thank you.